I just came off a 15-hour workday. Did I miss something? Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Meg Show. Boy, did I ever miss a day. What a day to have a 15-hour shift where I haven't been home and I didn't know what was going on. I barely had my phone on the entire day because I was just running around. And then I finally get home at almost 10 o'clock tonight to find out all this madness has come online and all these videos started showing up. And I know everybody and their mothers has already made a video about this, but either way, it don't make a damn difference. I'm making a video about it now, and I want to talk about it. I want to see what's going on. So, without further ado, let's get directly into this. I'm going to show the little trailer here that Sarah Bond had released earlier today. So let's get into it. We're going to watch this video, and then we'll take it there, and I'll do my analysis of it. Here we go.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next-generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices.
Okay, hold on a second.
Including our next-generation Xbox consoles.
Okay, let's take that phrase. Let's go back a little bit to what she just said. She talked about a multi-year partnership with AMD, including our next-generation Xbox, and it's right here, folks. See where my little mouse clicker is clicking on? Consoles with an S. So now, let's break that down for just 1 second before I continue the video. She said consoles. They do not mince words, okay? These guys, I mean, I know these corporate people do a lot of word salad and stuff, you know. I know nothing about that. But either way, what's going on here is that clearly they are announcing that there are going to be multiple consoles. Now, what exactly does that mean? To me, obviously, you're going to have what we already suspect, the under the TV high-powered box that's going to be there, this, you know, the singular console. Now, this consoles situation, could it possibly be? Now, this is all just speculation. I don't know anything about this because actually a bunch of people reached out to me earlier today and said, Meg, what do you know about this? What's the scoop? And I actually said, you know what? A lot of my sources have been pretty quiet about the hardware stuff. They're not saying a whole lot, so I actually don't really know. I know some other people have leaked information here and there, but I am not one of them, nor have I ever claimed to be an insider, by the way. I just drink and I know things. You know what I mean? So either way, here's my thought. What if, this is just speculation, folks, what if it actually is that dockable handheld situation that I had talked about a year and a half ago? Maybe that's not off the table. Maybe that's still on the table right now. And it just, you know, or maybe it's an iteration of that. Maybe it's an evolution of that idea. Remember, because the Microsoft Surface team was working on that hardware, not Jason Ronald. Jason Ronald has been working on the actual box that goes onto the TV. And then, of course, he was put in charge of like, what is he, like a Mr. Universe or president of like next gen hardware or whatever it is. So they had moved him onto that position there. Now, I still think that it's a possibility. It may not be off the board. It may still be on the board. Now, the thing is, when they're saying our next generation Xbox consoles, they also mention handhelds in there. So I think that we're going to see more iterations. I don't think, well, we already talked about it on this very channel, and some other people have talked about it, how Microsoft themselves had no intent. Well, sorry, they didn't actually say anything publicly, but a lot of us had heard that the actual handheld made by them has been officially canceled, and it'll be pushed out to third-party companies to make future handhelds. I don't think that's what they're talking about specifically here, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure here. This is a lot of just putting it out there with not a whole lot of information. But anyways, let's continue the video and we'll take it from there. So in my opinion, I still think that we're going to get that under the TV powerful console, a singular console. I do not think they're going to do another Series S. I think that there's going to be some kind of a dockable handheld like I had talked about a year and a half ago made by the Surface team. I'm not saying that's for sure. I'm just saying that's just speculation. Let's continue.
Generation Xbox consoles in your living room and in your hands.
In your hands.
Together,
there you go.
With AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation.
All right.
To unlock a deeper level of visual quality.
All right.
Immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI.
AI? What did I tell you about AI, ladies and gentlemen? This is what I'm talking about. Now, I know I've been a big doom and gloomer when it comes to AI, but obviously there are a lot of positive things that AI can do. I just think that eventually it's going to take all your jobs. That's just me. But either way, using the power of AI to be able to utilize these machines and the next gen power and next gen hardware, I think that's fantastic. But either way, when it comes to the development of software, you could bet your ass a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. Anyways, not too happy about that. I'm not laughing about it. I'm just saying it's going to happen. Either way, let's continue.
All while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of
Okay,
Xbox
compatibility
games.
with your existing library of games. So that sounds to me, now this is just speculation. That sounds to me like this is going to be a PC box, and you're going to be getting the PC compatible versions of the games that you already have or already exist in your catalog. That's what it sounds like to me. I may be wrong. I'm not a tech guy. Go watch Colt Eastwood's video, okay? He broke it down. My eyes went sideways trying to understand everything he was talking about. I'm just a gamer here to talk about stuff and what I think. But I think that that's what it's going to be, a PC under the TV console / PC kind of situation. Let's see what else she's got to say.
Platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want.
Okay, she's talking about Play Anywhere. There we go, the Xbox Play Anywhere.
You an Xbox experience, not locked to a single store or tied to one device.
Okay, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's something I want to talk about very briefly here. Not locked to a single store. Now, if anybody has watched XNC with myself and Mr. Eastwood, I talked about this months ago at the beginning of this year, not even on my channel. It was on his channel. I discussed it during the XNC podcast. I said that Xbox is going to be moving towards this not only Play Anywhere, which they've already had in integration so far. They've already been talking about a Buy Anywhere situation, which was going to be implemented next generation. It's going to be something where you're going to be able to buy all those games on all these different storefronts and be able to access all those storefronts on the singular box. I discussed this months ago before anybody else did. Now, the thing is, I want to talk about that, is that the person I spoke to at Microsoft who gave me this information said to me, he said, what's going to happen, and he's not sure how it's all going to play out. We shall see. He said that it's going to be a race to the bottom of all the different storefronts competing with each other to give the better deals, because at the end of the day, wherever you buy the game on that storefront gets a cut of the profit, right? So what's going to happen now? You're going to have Steam and you're going to have Windows and maybe the Epic Store or whoever else. I'm not a PC gamer, but anyways, the point is that it's going to be a race to who can offer the better deals so that you're buying on their storefront, right? So anyways, that's something I discussed a while ago when it came to the not only Play Anywhere, but the Buy Anywhere. Let's continue.
That's why we're working closely with the
Windows team. There you go.
Ensure that Windows is the #1 platform.
Okay, so they're going after
the next
Steam. I see.
Xbox
I understand.
is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We can't wait to show you what's next.
Okay. Okay, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to remove this. So anyways, let's get back to the conversation here. Now, there's something else that a lot of people have reached out to me, which is funny because I got messages all day long, which I'd never answered because I didn't have my phone. I was busy as hell today. But there's a couple of other things that people wanted to talk about or ask me about. And they said, Mag, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? And what I said when it came to the release schedule, that's where a lot of questions were like, Mag, are we going to see this in 2026? And I said, I'm not 100% sure. Now, here's the thing. If you go back and look at the history of the situation, when they went back to, like, let's say the Xbox One generation, I believe there was about just over a year or so, they announced it and then it was released. Then you go to Scorpio. They talked about Scorpio, and then a year later in 2017, it was released. A year before the series consoles in 2019 at the Game Awards show, they announced it, and then in 2020, less than a year later, it was released. This is different. They did not announce a project name. They did not announce the console. They just said they're working on a future partnership, multi-year partnership with AMD for future hardware. Nowhere in this little 1 minute 17 second clip did they talk about this is the console, this is what's coming. So I do not think it's coming out in 2026. I do not think that that's the case. I'm going to bring this up again a little bit later in my little talk here because there's something else I wanted to discuss about the PlayStation 6. However, let's get back to the Xbox thing. So I don't think it's 2026. I still think that they're targeting fall of 2027, which multiple people have reported across the board about the release dates for that. So that is what I'm thinking. It's going to be fall of 2027, not 2026. I know everybody gets excited and they see the commercial and everybody's going nuts and they're like, it's coming next year. And I'm like, guys, take a breath, calm down. I don't think it's coming next year. Hey, and if it does come next year, I'll be the first one to admit I'm wrong. But I'm just saying I feel like it's coming fall 2027. Again, they didn't even announce a project name. There's no console. They didn't show anything. They're just talking about a future partnership. So I still think it's that. Now, I just want to briefly talk about the PlayStation 6 in regards to this. The PlayStation 6, they were talking to the people at Sony, and Sony was saying, well, it's now their highest priority. It's obviously in development, this and that. And then they said something very interesting, and this is what got me, and it got me thinking. They said, it's coming sooner than you think. Now, that's wonderful and pisses me off at the same time. Let me explain why. It's wonderful because I'm like, yeah, we're going to get a PS6 a lot sooner than I expected. But then I just said, I just spent $1,100 on a PS5 Pro. I'm going to be pretty pissed if by next year a PS6 drops. So, you know what I mean? I just got this damn thing. And I'm like, well, I got that. But you know what? And I also got burned. PlayStation's not the only one that burned me because the One X burned me as well. I barely got it in 2018, I think it was, when I ended up buying it. And then like a year and a half later, the Series X consoles came out. I'm like, come on, man. And that One X was expensive, especially up here in Canada. So anyways, there is a possibility when they said it's coming sooner than expected. I actually think that we may, again, speculation, we may be seeing that PlayStation 6 a year before the Xbox consoles. Now, of course, they got the ROG Ally X coming out, but that's a handheld. That's a PC handheld with Xbox integration, whatever else. That's not obviously a dedicated console that sits under the TV. So that's what I'm thinking. So like I said, again, just speculation, just thought. I'm just throwing it up in the air, throwing it at the wall to see what sticks. But there's a possibility with what Sony had said that said it's coming sooner than you think. It may drop in the fall of 2026 with Xbox following suit in 2027. But anyways, I want to know what you think about all of this. It was a very crazy day for me personally. And then I come home to all this madness. It's practically the middle of the night and I'm dropping this video. It sucks that I had to react to it so late, but it is what it is. But anyways, everybody have yourself a wonderful day and stay magnificent.